Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Pyromancer here and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. And today, I'm going to actually keep this video short and sweet. I've said this many times in the past, and then the video turns into being like 20 minutes long. That's not going to happen today. I think. I promise, anyway. Today, we're going to be talking about the Red Star in the World of Warcraft, because it's very, very important what it is. I need you to watch this video. Like, if you've made it to this point, if you've already clicked on it, you need to just make your all the way through it, because it's so important what the fucking Red Star actually is. Many people believe that the Red Star, because of a cinematic in the game, is the remnant of the rift that was torn between Azeroth and Argus. And initially, that's what I thought it was too. That's what I said to people for a very long time. But I don't think that that's what the Red Star is at all. And there's been some things said by Alex Afrasiabi about the Red Star that I think are very, very telling and important as in regards to what it is. First of all, I'm going to show you how I figured out what the Red Star actually is. So if we go into the cinematic where Sargeras is jailed by the seat at the seat of the Pantheon by the Titans, the Titan Pantheon, I like to watch things in slow motion. And I would go as far as to say that these guys who design these cinematics, like Taron Gregory and his team, for instance, they don't do things on accident for the most part, I would say, especially in cutscenes like this that are pre-rendered. If you slow this cinematic down, when Sargeras is ripped to the seat of the Pantheon, and you pause right as it happens, as he is put onto the seat, you'll notice something. You'll notice that almost in the center of Sargeras' chest, there is a brilliant bright red light that looks pretty much exactly like the Red Star that we see in the sky. So what am I getting at? Well, I'm saying that the Red Star is actually, I believe, Sargeras' soul. We can see him. He is so bright, we can actually see him from Azeroth. And I would go as far as to say is that bright red light is very important. As Alex Afrasiabi mentioned in an interview that was done, I believe, it must have been after Legion, because we can see the Red Star in the sky. This is the interviewer. This is what they say to Alex Afrasiabi. What can you say about Sargeras? In the previous expansion, he has been jailed within the throne of the Pantheon. Do you have any plans to bring him back or some other ideas, or is he dead for good? Alex Afrasiabi says to the interviewer, what do you think about it? And the guy said, I think that he'll come back in the future at some point. Alex Afrasiabi looks to the other individual who's being interviewed, whom I don't recall the name of, and he says, I agree with what you said before about death being a state. I also think imprisonment is a state that he is in right now. If the story takes us in a way where he comes back, then I'd love to see where that goes in. Alex Afrasiabi finally gives his answer. Remember, this answer is initially he's asking about Sargeras. Alex Afrasiabi says, in certain skies across Azeroth, you can see a constellation now after the Legion is defeated, and there is a red star. Make sure you keep looking at that red star. If it's ever gone, that's a problem. Now, why in the world would Alex Afrasiabi take a question about Sargeras, spin it into an answer about the Red Star, and it just so happens that, thanks to, I'm going to take credit for this one, thanks to my keen eye, I was able to spot that the Red Star is not just a remnant of a rift in the sky, but is in fact part of Sargeras. Now, why would Alex Afrasiabi say some shit like, if the Red Star ever disappears, that's bad? If Sargeras is supposed to be the bad guy in the universe, right? Witnessing the star disappearing should be a good thing for us, right? Except it's not, because Sargeras isn't the big bad guy in the storyline. If you're new to my channel and this is the first video you're ever seeing, you've missed a lot. I would strongly urge that you go back and check out some of my previous videos. Some of the most important I will link in the description down below. But, as the flavor text for the rank 4 Crucible of Flame states, a raging fire is a force of massive destruction and the bringer of new life. Here's a really important thing that a lot of people tend to leave out of their analysis of Sargeras for some reason. I have no idea. But Sargeras wasn't just on the mindless crusade to eradicate life in the cosmos. There was a very distinct purpose for which he did this. And he hoped that after everything had been raised and everything had been scoured, that life would find a way to continue. Life would rise again anew. It would be born anew. Sargeras had a very important purpose for what he was doing. It wasn't some mindless act of rage or hatred. There was a point. And so for a dev of World of Warcraft to say something like that is rather alarming. Now he's saying if the red star ever disappears, that would be very, very bad. Now what do you suppose would have to happen for the red star to disappear? Because it's not just going to go out by itself. Someone is most likely going to put him out if they do it. Now, I want to clarify. In Chronicle, it doesn't actually explicitly say that the Titans had a rule against slaying their own. Just want to throw that out there. It says that no situation could be so dire as to warrant systemic extinction. Never in Chronicle, and trust me, I've read it, apparently quite a lot more than many other people out there, it never says that they can't slay one of their own or that it's directly against their beliefs. Now, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that from a standpoint that is reasonable, that yeah, they probably wouldn't want to slay one of their own. But I think they've already done it before. Here's the thing. There are little hints that are dropped all over the game, from small characters to big characters, and it's called foreshadowing. It's the term that's used for this type of thing. And there is a boss that I think says something very relevant, although for her, rather abstract, but relevant from Tol Dagor, the Tol Dagor dungeon. Knight Captain Valyri. She has a quote when you kill her where she says, "The brightest stars burn out the fastest." That's interesting. That's an interesting one. Because Sargeras is basically a giant burning star. And although fire and the plasma that most stars burn with, that's not exactly the same thing, I do think it is absolutely relevant. Now, if the star were to go out, thus essentially saying that Sargeras were to go out and that'd be a very bad thing for us, that's a pretty gigantic hint. I don't know how anyone's going to sit around and ignore that one. That's a fucking huge hint. But what would be worse is if the star turned golden or white. I think that would be much worse, because then Sargeras has not just been extinguished, but Sargeras has been altered. Something has happened to him. Someone has done something to him that has changed the essence of what he is. And the soul of an individual is the most telling, the most truthful thing about them. And the eyes of an individual link directly to the soul. With that being said, someone a while ago gave a gigantic hint as to what's really going on here. Allow me to remind you my belief. The big bad in the universe is the Titan, goddess, Aeonar, the Lifebinder. She's the evil one. And life being reset was not being done for no reason. It was not being done because of the potential corruption of the Void Lords. Because, in my opinion, the corruption of the Void Lords and the Old Gods is actually the fault of the Titans. And if anything, the Old Gods are giant amalgamations of life that were corrupted either directly by the Void or locked up and never allowed to die and experimented and tested on until they became horrific abominations. Life that just was unbound, something that was allowed to flourish in a manner which it was never meant to. Because death, shocker, has been kind of removed from the situation. Many, many videos I've made regarding that, so I won't talk too much about that. But I just want to throw out there that something really, really terrible could happen. And something probably will happen. Because I don't think you leave something in the sky like that for no reason. And I don't think as a very high-up developer for World of Warcraft that you make a comment like that offhandedly, especially when the initial question was geared directly at Sargeras. So take that as you will. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm pulling a rabbit out of the hat like normal. Maybe I'm giving too much stock into Blizzard's ability to tell a story. Let me ask you this. In most fantasy, death, darkness, chaos, they're the bad guy, like irrefutably. Is Blizzard so unoriginal that they're just going to continue to follow the standard tropes of pretty much every other fantasy universe ever? Or is there actually an underlying twist happening in WoW? Because they've illustrated to me several times that they're capable of doing it. Sylvanas is an up-and-coming one, once again. But do we really want to sit around and just say, even though there's overwhelming evidence against the idea, that Blizzard is literally just following the just most common, boring, overdone tropes in the history of storytelling? Or are they actually trying to do something at least semi-original by making it so life and light in the supposed order, which we're supposed to believe is order, is actually the good stuff? What is more interesting? Like, is the good stuff really the bad stuff? Or is the bad stuff just the bad stuff and like, here we are? That's the question I would ask you. All the beautiful life, beautiful creation that exists across the cosmos of World of Warcraft, and specifically just upon Azeroth, all burnt to ash for nothing? For what? In order to try to save it. It's just like Arthas Menethil. It's just like Stratholme. Arthas and Sargeras are basically the same fucking character. You had a group of people that were aligned with them, they were allies of them and were there to support them, and then they're given an ultimatum. Arthas looks upon Stratholme and knows that they're all corrupted, they're all fucked. They're all going to turn into mindless abominations, mindless undead. So he has to make a choice. Do I purge this city and do what I believe is right, make it swift and quick for them? Or do I just let them turn into abominations? What do I do? Do I let it all fall to ruin, or do I just try to end it myself in hopes to do something for the greater good? And those around him abandon him in his idea to do so. But let me ask you this, did Arthas really have a choice? Think about who Arthas was, what he was taught. Did he really have a choice? I would ask you to think of Sargeras the same way. He looks upon the cosmos, something he's deeply fond of, absolutely loves life, is absolutely fond of it. Another big thing people just leave out of their analysis of him from Chronicle. Sargeras loved life more than anything else. He looked upon it with pride and joy. It made him happy to see life flourish. And he had to make the decision to try to save it from an all-consuming, all-corruptive force. And the most fucked up thing is that it all backfired on him because of the plans of life herself. Nice. And now we're going to be in big fucking trouble, because the story after this doesn't go anywhere except towards the Titans. And as much as people want the Titans to be over with, they are the grand overarching story of WoW. They are. They are the top level of the story that's being told. The Horde and the Alliance are not. They're simply not. There is a grander cosmic fight going on, which I've been trying so desperately to inform people of for like the last 3 years. And until someone bigger than me puts it in their video and essentially regurgitates the same shit, no one wants to believe it. Not nobody, but the majority of the people that watch it enjoy it. So that's all. I just wanted to throw this out there because the Red Star thing is huge. I think it's a big thing to highlight and to spread around. This is something that everybody should know, but almost nobody does. Never been referenced by any other content creator in their video ever. I've never seen it show up on the forums, never seen it even pop up in my Discord from other users. Just seems like nobody knows about this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry I'm a little short today, seem a little cranky. I am. April Fool's is fucking lame. I'm over it. So that's it. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you want to help me beat this shitty YouTube algorithm and make a little extra money during this global pandemic that's going on, I'd appreciate it if you guys liked the video and shared it with some other people. The likes really do help. They really do. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here and you want more content in the future. Stuff geared specifically towards World of Warcraft and its storyline is what I do here. And we're getting closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers where I'll get a plaque that I can put on the wall. That'd be so dope. Thank you guys for the support already and help me get that silver play button from YouTube. That'd be so sick. That's it, you guys. I appreciate you very much. Check out my Twitter, Twitch, Patreon. All those links are in the description down below. Stay awesome, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace!